and convert them into the buff
Okay,
users.
so Overwolf is actually like a distributor of games.
Yeah,
And also
not
developer.
Yeah, so they're not distributive of games. They are basically an app store for gamers. The gamers can download their apps, not games.
But the apps are not developed by themselves, right?
Some of them they develop by themselves, and some, for example, esports team develop apps on top of Overwolf, for example.
What
So
about EA, these big players? Are they also clients?
Yeah, the clients
They
and
put the app
Twitch
on
and
Overwolf?
yeah.
Okay.
And Twitch and stuff. Again, it's not games; it's the apps on top. It's supplementary to the games themselves. And think about it. In effect, you know how many crypto wallets are there in the world? Everything. Have any idea? How many Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything? Have any clue?
I mean, right now, how many there are?
Yeah.
I know, at the top of my head, no.
So it's not a lot. It's around 28, 30 million. That's it. And all of them are not real users. It's not like maybe you have it as an investor or you bought something, but you're not really using it.
Right.
And I think that the end users, they don't care about what's the underlying technology. They don't care if it's a centralized, decentralized. They care about value, what they're getting out of it. Think about it, that we have a way to get to 15 million to start with. And these are gamers, it's early adopters, they like new technology, they like new things. And we have a part of our app is basically the wallet. We are introducing a massive scale into the actual application in the crypto world that people can actually use. This is something that I don't think any project was actually able to do.
I'm just curious, what do you actually, right now it seems like, you're planning, already in the process of building this private, blockchain, and then you're going to create the token economy on the public blockchain, and you're going to connect the private, blockchain to the public blockchain, and that's what you do apart from Overwolf, right? And then you're going to use their, data collection, system, analytics system, and also their user base, and then, it's going to be, for the game publishers, is it going to be through Overwolf or?
Well, everything is through us. We are doing all the facilitation, basically the marketplace where you can redeem the buff.
But then aren't you in competition with Overwolf?
No, not at all. Again, they are a technology provider. They are not trying, not at all. This is why it makes so much sense to both sides to partner together and to do a joint venture on this.
Right?
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense for them to go into the blockchain. And they're technology providers that don't know how to do the entire blockchain project. So basically, we're doing all the facilitation itself. And this is why it makes so much sense in this partnership. And again, this is our go-to-marketing strategy. And our aim is to create additional partnership as we go along in this project. And by the way, we have already a live MVP, which real gamers are using and playing. And everything is written on the blockchain. Everything is redeemed on our testnet. So everything is working and it's working.
And what's the feedback so far?
Honestly, amazing.
What?
Amazing.
All right.
We got users from Overwolf.
Can you just kind of give the top one or two feedbacks?
So the first feedback, which was really important for us, it's a seamless experience.
That's for the publisher.
No, I'm talking about the gamers.
Okay.
The real gamers that are playing, for example, League of Legends, are playing, and the experience that they have, it's seamless. It doesn't take anything out of the computer. It's no hardware needs. Just seamlessly sits on the background, and they like it. And they see everything is recorded on real time. They see all the history of all the events.
Oh, wait a second. So the game itself sits on the blockchain?
No. Just the app. It's an application that you are downloading to your computer. And this is able to record all the events, write it on top of the blockchain,
right.
Basically doing the allocation.
The seamless part was already done by Overwolf before.
No, so it's not blockchain at all. They Overwolf just provide API for us to access. That's it. They don't provide the interface or anything, the user experience.
Right.
So we did the user experience together with them, with the developers and with us together to create this experience. And for example, to make sure that you are playing a game, it doesn't interfere with your gaming experience.
All right.
So it doesn't take any, hardware usage. The only thing cool that we're doing, for example, is to create a layer on top of the game. And once you're doing a triple kill in League of Legends, we're showing you coins that you have just earned, and that's it. All the rest, the app is open in the background, and it's really simple to use. And the main feedback we got is, what's the catch? Why no one did it before? It makes so much sense. So why not anyone did it?
But what about the seamlessness again? Because I think I'm kind of lost in that department. So how's the seamlessness realized?
So
it's not because of the blockchain, right?
No, so yes, and it's not because of the blockchain.
Yeah.
Basically, the technology stack we have in place is that we're able to monitor in the background while you are playing your game through the overwolf technology. We're able to get all this data without interfering with your game experience.
I see.
And then we're able to
So
log it all.
usually there's interruption when you collect the data?
So in many cases there is an interruption and it can interfere with the GPU, CPU, so we're doing a seamless interaction. Again, through this technology, we don't need, for example, your username and password in League of Legends. We don't need you to put any of your personal details. We don't need any of this data because we're able to monitor it all through our technology together with Overwolf. So in terms of the experience, you just download an app, it's free, it's transparent, we don't need you to enter any username, password and everything, and then you are basically, everything is stored on your wallet as well.
Okay, so are you basically paying these gamers because you're getting their information, their data?
What do you mean by paying?
Because you constantly
we have
get
a lot
the
of
data,
data.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, is the token payment the main purpose because you collect the data, you want to pay the users, or is the payment purpose to because
incentivize them? Yeah, basically the main purpose is incentivize you, similar to like you're flying an airline and you're paying.
So that's my question because you're getting. I mean, it has been a traditional kind of. Practice, right? I mean, you get the data. What kind of events he plays. At what difficulty, for instance.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be paid, right?
No, they're not going to pay it. Again, the game publishers are willing to pay for new users. They're willing to pay for data and information. They're more than willing to pay. They're looking to buy buff coins and release it to their gamers as well. And basically, there are a lot of different advertising methods that they are willing to pay, and quite a lot for it.
Okay, I agree to the transparency, but when it comes to the token payment, actually, I mean, couldn't you do without the blockchain actually with the token payment? Because these gamers are already very early adopters, right? I mean, they wouldn't care if it's a real virtual currency or not, right? I mean, as long as they can buy it on some stuff on the online virtual market.
Yeah. So, one, we can create some kind of point system. Let's say, call it Elay points, and that's it. But the advantage for you as a gamer, it's a real asset that you can do. And you can do whatever you want to. You can go and cash it out in an exchange if you want to.
Right.
So you have a real asset, and I don't limit you. Like if you're flying Korean Airlines, you can really redeem the points for Korean Airlines. But I don't want to limit you. It's an asset that you can have. And this is only crypto can provide. And it's an asset that you can decide where you want to spend it. And for example, Singapore Airlines just moved their loyalty program into crypto. Because it makes sense. In the end, we want to give users a value. And this is a great value. It's a great use case for users. And they can decide where you want to do it. And again, they're counting on the fact that they provide a great user experience on the flight. And say, people will fly with us. And we want to give them a great retention tool. And we don't want to limit them only on flight. Go and buy it in the supermarket. It makes a lot of sense for gamers not to limit them to something specific. So this is what we're able to do. Only through the crypto.
And the private blockchain, I mean, you guys going to create it, right?
So we already created it.
You already created it.
It's built on top of Arc as a framework. And again,
But you're going to take care of the centralization issue,
exactly,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is IAM. Already started to work and experiment with the new blockchain.
So how many nodes have you on the private, blockchain?
Active or what's the architecture? In the end, the nodes are the gamers themselves. They provide basically the consensus model. It depends on basically how engaged you are. So the more the user is engaged, he gets one higher accumulation rate and basically more consensus right. So the top tier, the node 3, these are the ones that basically decide on consensus and attribution, and this is the architecture that we have built in place. And again, all the gamers are actually the nodes. This is how it's decentralized.
All right. So you have a consensus system built in?
Yeah, already built in.
And also a voting system?
Yeah.
For what?
For example, which games to add. And for example...
For which game what?
Which games to add, for example.
Oh, okay.
So basically, again, we want to have the community really involved in what we're doing. And the gamers... For example, we have...
what about bad actors, kick him out, for instance?
So we have a mechanism built in that basically the node 3, the higher tier, can decide on this consensus.
And it's like POS, stake-based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, we're experimenting with a lot of different infrastructure on how to do it in the most decentralized way and most honest way that we can do.
Right.
And our aim is to have the community as involved as possible in what we are doing, and basically release it to the community. This is our end goal, and to let the community benefit from it, and let them be engaged. And this is the gamers are. It's not we're gonna have like big miners. It's not possible in our case. The gamers are actually the ones that are deciding.
So my other question is because when I had some interview with some innovative game-related blockchain projects, I mean there were some game projects that actually kind of wanted to ensure that game users are paid for their data. So in that case, is it going to be in conflict with your model?
Not really.
They're going to get paid. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but
because mostly they have all these they like you already mentioned
Yeah.
and the publisher has it, but.
I don't think that they will use it, honestly. Why should the users pay for this data? One, they can get it for free in many cases. Go to Overwolf and you could get it, or to many other websites. You can go to League of Legends, our site, they give you all this data about you and anyone else. And again, maybe it's me, but I don't think users will pay for it.
As an expert, you think that that's kind of an unrealistic scheme, right? So what they want to do is, because the publishers can really benefit from the data of the user, because they can use it for targeted marketing or whatever.
Yeah.
So these guys implemented a scheme by which they're going to pay actually the user for the data, and then they're going to sell it to the.
No, so users don't like for people to sell their own personal data. It doesn't. Why? And it's microtransactions, so why should they do it?
Yeah,
and then they get like advertising, and it's harassing. So again, I don't see this scheme, working on a large scale. At least not with the tier 1 publisher, and it's.
Okay. All right. And what about the virtual market? Because right now you still have to resolve actually. It's not your part actually, but the public chain. The latency issue. Because there will be a lot of token, transactions going on right in the virtual asset market. But that's kind of more like whether EOS is really up and running and it's really cool or whatever, right? Or other. Okay, you're agnostics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the virtual marketplace? How is it related? How is it connected to your private and then public? The scheme.
So basically, the allocation itself and all the data itself is recorded on the private blockchain, and then migrated. The actual currency is migrated into the public blockchain. In the public blockchain, this is where we provide our marketplace. We are buying virtual assets from the game publishers with the big discount, by the way, because we are buying it in bulks. And they will provide our gamers the opportunity to exchange it. So they can get 20 buff coins and redeem it for a sword, for example, or for a skin. If they don't have enough coins, they just have small, maybe they can add additional through crypto or through fiat, just to buy additional supplement, just to add for the one
then, right? The market is dead,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I still don't kind of, I want to end this interview because I took up so many time already. But I mean, it's my concern because, right now I kind of, start to get to understand the Overwolf scheme, because it's more like, because it's a data-oriented company, right? So what they do is they provide the developer tools, for the game developers, and in the process they can get control actually of the data, right? I mean that's the scheme, right? But what about?
They don't control the data, but
I mean they can get it, But my question is because I mean EA they can use this kind of tool, but mostly I mean the bigger part will be actually not using Overwolf, right?
Yeah.
The business.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you want to be successful, you actually have to get that business as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a hurdle.
So why not? We brought.
You understand my point, right?
Yeah. So we already brought top executives from the leading gaming company, from Activision to Wargaming, Unity, and many others, and they understand the concept. And they understand why it makes so much sense to them. Again, the go-to-marketing strategy is to start with Overwolf as a strategic partnership, because it provides us a lot of technology assets and user base, which is a huge asset. Ultimately, our aim is to go into another like B2B deals, and to go also directly to the game publishers and to do more hybrid deal with them.
Right.
But again, we don't need them for the integration part, but more for the business development part, to exchange users, to get new deals, and to create new creative opportunities to scale up our community.
Right, but I mean, the concern I have is that actually, if I'm running a very big, game publishing company, you know, I wouldn't be really willing to give you guys my data.
So I don't need you. We have the ability to collect all this data already.
Right.
So we don't need
I
you.
wouldn't like it maybe.
So they're liking it fine. At the moment, again, it's working for many years, and they're really fine with it. As long as you're not, doing fraud and using it for, pushing ads to the wrong user, and then they will block. Once you are going well with the entire terms of use and terms of it don't jeopardize the data, so they are perfectly fine with it. And again, they have hundreds of different apps working on this Overwolf platform for many years, and it's working smoothly and fine, and the publishers really like it, again, because it's great. Another layer of engagement and data for them, and everyone are happy with it.
Okay. So how many big publishing, game publishers are actually members of the Overwolf business?
Over 750 different games, all the leading, all
Can
the
you just
esports
name
brands.
like 5, the top,
Yeah, so Fortnite, League of Legends, Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, PUBG, Overwatch, and many others are part of their ecosystem. All the top brands from the entire world, from the US, Asia, specifically in South Korea, Japan, China, are really strong in this community.
And what is your profit model? Where did you get your profit from?
So basically, we're from the revenue stream, from advertising, monetization, that users are going to spend to upgrade their status and many other features that we're going to allow users to basically improve the user experience in Buff. So this is basically our revenue stream.
The advertising. What
Just for example, if we take Overwolf as an example, they have apps. They're profitable just by showing ads because this is a really targeted community, and the advertisers are looking to pay a lot for it.
You mean like game publishers, right?
Game publishers, and not only game publishers. For example, hardware, for keyboards and for speaker, for headphones and many other.
So then you're not charging, for instance, the
it's
token
free.
distribution to users, for instance. You're
No,
not charging a fee for that, right?
There is no fee. It's free to use. You can use it.
But you have to think about the gas fee, whatever, right?
Yeah, this we have to use it and put it into our economic model. Basically, how to distribute it. Want to minimize the gas fee.
But what about the virtual market? Aren't you charging, the transaction fee there?
It's really minimal, almost nothing. Again, need to think about that we are not buying the virtual marketplace when we're buying from the publishers. We're not buying in a full price. We're getting it on a really large discount.
And then you get from the spread, you get your profit as well, right?
Yeah.
But you mostly, my understanding is the biggest profit will come from the network effect.
Exactly. So
right? The more you get the publishers on board, the more users you get on board.
So not publishers, but more users. The higher the users base will grow, then network effect will grow. And
right. Because I don't want to say this, but then it's good for the token, right? First of all.
Yeah.
Right, and then also the advertiser will just come in.
Stream in. Yeah,
right?
and everyone are happy. The publishers.
So that's going to be your biggest, revenue driver,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. Once we have the user, it's the chicken and egg story.
Right.
You need users for them to get interested, the advertisers, the publisher, and everyone. And we have them. We have, just to start with, 15 million. And I've been doing online marketing in gaming for many years now, 15 years. And this is the easiest product to sell.
All right.
It's really simple and said, if you're a gamer or your kid or your friend, it makes a lot of sense. It's free, use it, get something out of it, why not?
Okay.
So it's a really simple network effect to create this.
So how do you see your revenue in the first year?
So we have a really detailed business plan. In the first year, we're going to lose, obviously, because we need to create the technical infrastructure and to create the user acquisition and new business development. And as year goes by, then we'll start earning out of it.
All right. Is that all included in the white paper?
Yes, everything is.
Okay.
We have a really detailed white paper.
My last question was actually about the team, and I already know that you're a 15 years veteran in the game marketing and advertisement area, right? And then you have the partnership with Overwolf, which is a very technological-oriented gaming develop tool and data analytics company.
Yeah.
And what else can you brag about your team?
So we come from gaming experience from Overwolf and from our team. We have experienced someone that did a successful ICO last year. They did a successful ICO, so we come from blockchain. We have blockchain architecture and developers.
This successful ICO company, what was it about?
It's Stocks. It's for prediction marketing.
Okay.
The name is Stocks. They did.
And you were a member of it?
No, one of our co-founders, Ophir, was one of the co-founders.
How much did it raise?
$32 million, I think,
Okay.
something of that range.
Yeah.
It took them 2 weeks, so they did
Oh,
it was last year, so it was really
But
fast.
2017.
Yeah. So we have data scientists and developers and basically people that analyze gaming relationship, people that know the game publishers really well. And we have a really...
And what about the relationship manager with all these publishers?
Yeah, so we have people from our team that are doing publisher relationship, basically.
Okay.
And we have a really strong team in the US and Asia that have experience with the game publishers. Some of them were actually or currently CEOs and presidents of gaming companies, like Bruce Hack. This guy invented World of Warcraft, it's one of the biggest games. Jay Cohen.
He's an advisor?
Yeah.
All right.
Jay Cohen, which is the president and CEO of Wargaming US. Guys from PlayStation, from Unity, from Zynga, from many others. And we have, in addition to that, advisors also from the crypto world, like one of the founders from Bbox, which is a crypto exchange, and other partners that are really helping us to grow within the crypto community as well.
All right. So what is your current token sale plan?
So we're looking to raise $30 million. That's our hard cap. Our soft cap is $6 million. Our aim is to close it within the next couple of months. The entire
You're in a private sale right now?
We're in private sale, and with the current status and the progress we have, it looks like we were able to close everything during the private sale.
Okay.
In the short-term period.
All right. Thank you very much. And do you have any last words for the audience?
We like Korea. We like you guys. And join BUFF as soon as it's released.
Israel.
Yeah.
It's a cool country.
And BUFF, it's the best project ever.
Okay. So this was, Buff, the CEO, right?
Yep.
Elay, and I was Tom Koo, and it was a great challenge, and he took it. So get ready for the next challenge, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool.